Hi there, welcome back. It's another day, so it's another dragon, and today's Ureni, the song Unending. 5 green, blue, and red for a 10/10 spirit dragon with flying, and pro white and pro black, which actually makes me happy that we're actually seeing some creatures with protection again. I don't think we've had anything for a while. Tend to have been ward for the last couple of sets. So having protection back proves it's still there and it's still evergreen. It's just going to be used very sparingly. Anyway. When Ureni enters, it deals X damage divided as you choose amongst any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers your opponents control, where X is the number of lands you control. Now, obviously, there are two versions of Ureni. I will be covering the one from the pre-con deck at some stage in the future. But this one, there's only one way to go with this, isn't it? You've got green in the colour, you've got blue, you've got red. It's time to go really hard on the ramp, and let's see if we can get there with Ureni. So, this is what today's deck really does look like. So, starting at the beginning, one's Planeswalker in the deck. Sarkhan, the Unbroken, the absolute epitome of a Planeswalker that works well with dragons. I think every version of Sarkhan works well in most cases, but this one, yeah, +1 draw card, 1 mana of any colour, have a 4/4 dragon. Or, -8, search your library for any number of dragon creature cards and put them into the battlefield. That's fine by me, but we're here because we're really doing the land stuff. So, we have creatures that work off landfall. We'll start with Jahidi Offshoot because we like gaining a little bit of life. Bristling Bill makes an appearance, get those +1/+1 counters going. Lotus Cobra is in for the extra land when we drop it, and then, well, Sakura Tribe Elder, better known as Steve, I think, by most people in Magic Land now. We all know what he does. Pay 2, have a 1/1. Block with it, sack it before damage is dealt, get yourself a basic land, and you're really happy. Azusa, the Lost But Seeking, is in, just to give us those extra land drops. We want to be getting up to quite a significant number of lands as soon as we can. So that's why we've got Courser of Krufix, we can always play with our land card on the top. And Dryad of the Elysian Grove, just make sure that all the lands we have in play can tap for any mana that we need. Farhaven Elf, it goes and fetches a basic land card and puts into play tap for us. And then we have Loot, the Exuberant Explorer. Once it changes round, come on, Loot, thank you. Play an additional land each turn, and then we can pay 4 and 2 green to look at the top 6 and reveal a creature card with lesser mana value than the lands we control and put it onto the battlefield. Mossborn Hydra has the benefit of having the landfall trigger as well to get bigger as things go on. Nissa, Resurgent Animist, helps us with the landfall to get the mana on the go so we can get Ureni out quicker. Likewise, the other version of Nissa that transforms into the Planeswalker just goes and fetches a basic forest card and we get to put it in our hand. So hopefully we've got extra ways of, dropping extra lands when we play Nissa. But, flipping them over and having it turn into the Sage Animist isn't the end of the world either, especially since we can have a 4/4 token if we need a blocker. Tyler's Tracker to give us those clue tokens so we can investigate. Toperius Stomper goes and fetches the land card when it comes into play, and then has vigilance once we can get it to attack or block when we have 7 lands in play. Wayward Sawtooth also has the whole you can't attack or block until you've got the City's Blessing, but it does give you the ability to play an additional land each turn, and having a 5/5 for 3 mana that could come down and basically get in there isn't the end of the world. Yavimaya Elder, gone old school with this one today. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle. And you can pay basically 5 mana to draw a card and get 2 lands. So not the end of the world, but a little bit slow maybe, but it's still fun. Mina and then the Wildborn, extra land drop, and then return a land we control to give something trample. Very nice, thank you very much. We can return one of our lands to give you any trample if we really need to do that side of things. Oracle of Muldies, no brainer. Play an additional land. Play with the top card reveal. You may play lands from your library. Solemn Sim goes and fetches a land when it comes into play and draws as a card when it dies. Zimone Mystery Unraveler, you're probably wondering why. It's got a landfall trigger on it. I like the idea of doing the Manifest Dread thing. So if something goes in the graveyard and the other thing becomes a 2/2. And hopefully we can get it to trigger it twice a turn occasionally so we can flip up the permanent that's hopefully under the manifested card. Goldspan Dragon to give us the treasures. Tatova, the Benthic Druid to keep our hand going and give us a little bit of extra life. And then a couple of cards that just basically get in there. Most decks of this style should probably have Terror of the Peaks and Twin Flame Tyrant in them by now. Damage when it comes into play. damage if a source would deal it. Deals double that damage instead. Thank you very much. For 1 clicks, go and fetch us a couple of forest cards and put them in our hand, and then hopefully transform into the Grand Evolution at some stage. Assi, the Tyrant of Gia Strait, is also in. Additional land drops, and whenever your land you control enters, you get to draw a card. Ancient Copper Dragon to give us the treasures, and Geode Ranger. I like this. Rager, sorry. I like this card. I don't think it sees enough play in Commander, even though it did come in one of the Commander decks originally, if my memory serves correctly. But whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, goad each creature target player controls. Yeah, like it. Because I'm playing so many dragons, I had to play Miirym just to get that in there as well. And then a few more things that run off the landfall. So we've got Rampaging Balos. Ulfwild Hydra just gets bigger and gets as a land when it comes into battlefield tapped, so that's nice. Avengers Zendikar comes in, we drop all the little plant tokens and hopefully drop lands to make them bigger. We had to play some of the other legendaries, so Dragonlord Gatark is in just to deal some damage to creatures up to 5. And then Old Gnawbone to give us even more treasures to help us get there quicker. Last landfall creature, Omnath, Locus of Rage is in. The 5/5 elementals are good fun, and when they die, we get to start lightning bolting things. And then Ancient Silver Dragon, so we can have that extra card draw, no maximum hand size for the rest of the game, and thank you very much. From there, we go to Sorceries. Pretty of a no-brainer for this deck, because we want the lands for Ureni. Awaken the Woods makes perfect sense. Yes, it's 1/1 Forest Dryad land creature tokens, so they tap for green, get that. Can be a little bit risky, but it does give us a whole load of extra lands that we can use Ureni to deal damage to creatures or planeswalkers with when it hits. The usual ramp selection here: Farseek, Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, Sylvan Scrying, 3 Visits, Kodoma's Reach, Search for Tomorrow, Ranger's Path, Sky Shroud Claim. I do like Temur Discovery still, that is still here. People do take the advantage of getting, especially if they're mana stuck, they will take the advantage of doing it, so you'll get a few lands out this way. And then this is Renewal, just to give us that little bit of 6 mana, 3 lands, 7 life. I'm happy with that. We have a little bit of Artifact ramp, not much because of all these spells we've got going today. So we've got Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Emerald Medallion, Ruby and Sapphire Medallions. And then we have some more of the wonderfulness that's come through. I'm just checking something, sorry. Enchantments, Exploration, play an additional land each turn. Yep. One with nature, goes on a creature. I realised the other night when this was played against me, I didn't own one in my MTGO collection, so I went and picked one up, and it kind of fits in here. Enchanted creature deals combat damage to player, you get a basic land and put it into play tapped. Yeah, okay then, I'll live with that. One of the new cards coming in from Tarkir Dragonstorm is the Frostcliff Siege. When this enchantment enters, you choose Jeskai Temur, sorry. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Or Temur, creatures you control get +1 and have trample and haste. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I honestly don't know which one's better on this enchantment. Personally, it's probably going to be the Temur one for this one, so we can make sure our creatures do trample through. And since Ureni's only got flying and pro white, pro black, having the trample and the haste could be really useful. So it'll probably be Temur most of the time. But if you're behind, you've got a few creatures in play, and you've got something you can get through with, Jeskai one may be worth thinking about. Next 3 enchantments all trigger off landfall. So we've got Retreat to Coalhelm, so we could untap or tap target creatures, or Scry. The Scrying is probably what we're going to do most. The Retreat to Kadzu will depend what we're doing on the board at this stage. +1/+1 counter if we're in trouble, if we're ahead with the creature, or gain 2 life if we're a little bit behind. The choice will be entirely up to you. Retreat to Valakut is also in. I like this one because it does mean if you've got like 3 or 4 blockers, or opponent's got, sorry, if you've got 3 or 4 attackers and opponent's got a couple of blockers, you can just make one so it can't be blocked. You can't block this turn. Always seems like a good plan to me. Rites of Flourishing also makes an appearance. Extra card draw, extra land drop. We like this plan. And the other enchantment that I've bought in from the brand new set is Dragonback Assault. Now, I'm expecting to see this card a lot going forward in Commander. 6 mana with the Temur land, symbols, green, blue and red. Comes into play, it deals 3 damage to each creature and planeswalker. So it gives you kind of mini, very mini Blasphemous Act. But the landfall ability You get a land that comes into play. You get a 4/4 red dragon creature token. Okay then, I like having dragons. It all sounds good to me. We'll go in the air and go that way. You'll see this card again, I'm sure, in most of my decks where I'm playing dragons going forward, or any landfall thing if I'm in the right 3 colours. So bear in mind, pick this up soon. I think it's going to be a key player for Commander going forward in the long run. Lands wise, the usual selection of all of the red, blue and green lands you would expect are here. I am playing slightly more forest than I am the other 2 basics. There are 6 forests, 4 islands, 4 mountains, purely because we do want to make sure we've got things we can go hit with some of our spells. The rest of it is pretty much what you'd expect. There is, just for a change though, haven't gone with Temple of the False God, and I haven't gone with Reliquary Tower today. So I think with the amount of land we should be searching out, we'll be able to play out our hand quite quickly. We have got Yavimaya, Prelude Growth though, just in at the end here, just to make sure we do have enough forests kicking around. But that's it. That is my take on Ureni. The song Unending, I think, is going to be... Do I want to see it in this pre-release? I'd be happy to see it, but I doubt I'll ever be able to play in the pre-release. However, I think Commander is going to be a key player for a long time, especially because obviously we've got Miirym in the deck, and it sits in the Miirym deck so nicely it's ridiculous. But this is all about Ureni. We're not talking about Miirym today, so I think it's going to be good. I think you should be on the lookout for it, and I think having a 10/10 for 8 mana is kind of key going forward. But that's it for now. I'd like to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed recently. We're up to 635 here on the YouTube channel, so if you can, if you aren't, please hit the subscribe button that's appeared in the bottom of the corner of the screen. If you want to see me play Ureni when we get the set released, there's a link down below to Twitch. I have got a few plans. I've got a few work things I have to do after release weekend. So there'll be a slight delay in what we usually do, but we have got some fun things planned. I'll probably do a short video about it at some stage, so bear that in mind. But for now, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. I do read them all. I will try and respond to them all. And I'm still trying to sort out this room that I'm now streaming and recording from. So if it sounds a little bit tinny on the mic, I'm really sorry. Amazon have failed to deliver me my new mic cover. So I've tried to do the best I can, but I need to keep the videos going. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll be back tomorrow with something else. Probably have a break from Tarkir tomorrow. I've got something I want to talk about, but a different card I want to talk about that's a bit old school, but we'll see. That may be Friday. Might do that as a bonus video. But for now, take care, and I'll see you very soon. Have a good one. Bye.